Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's tutorial will be on how to make this beautiful butterfly skirt with rich, right? So stay tuned and thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you. 1 to 2. Alright. Then I've already cut it out. Now, how much volume of fabric am I going to fold? What you do is your hip measurements, you divide it by 4. Put of your hip measurements. Hmm? When you divide it by 4, whatever you have, you add 7 inches to it. Now, the 7 inches, you can decide to add extra, maybe 9, 10, 11, depending on how full you want your butterfly locks to be. Okay, but this one I'm going to be adding only 7 inches. Okay, then the length of your skirt. Let's assume the length of my skirt is 30 inches. I'm going to be adding extra 10 inches to it because this is going to be having an elastic and it's going to shrink, like it's going to compress, shred when you put an elastic to it. So you add extra 10 inch to your normal full length of the skirt or the gown you're working with. So my length of my skirt here is 30 inches and I added extra 10 inches, making it 40 inches. Okay, then we'll go ahead and insert the waist measurement. So this is my start line, which is also going to be serving as my waist measurement. Now I'm going to divide my waist by 4. I have 7. I'll mark my 7 inches here. This is my waist measurement. Then from there I'm going to be coming down by 9 inches. The 9 inches I'm coming down to is my hip line, right? Where I will insert my round hip measurement. So when I divide I have 9 inches. This is my 9 inches. I'll go ahead and mark it. Now I'm going to be connecting my waist from my waist to my hip. Then I'm going to be dragging it down towards the bottom of my skirt. Okay, so I'm done doing this. Now I'm going to go ahead and add 7 inches to my skirt. So I'll be adding 7 inches extra. So from this part now I have 7 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the waistline. Alright, the reason why I cutted this out first is because the material I'm working with is a little bit large, so that it will enable me to work on it properly. That's why I cut it out. So this is what we'll be working with. Alright, so I'll go ahead and pin it. I'm going to be pinning it round because material is stretchy. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to also mark my shaping line on the other side of my dress. So this is the first one we marked. I also went ahead and marked it on this part. Now we'll be talking on how to cut the back. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing this on my folded fabric to cut out my back. So this is what I did. I folded another fabric, placed my front on it and cut out my back. Now for my back I left few inches, 2 inches allowance. This is for my zip. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be slitting this open. This is where my zip is going to be. Alright, so I'll go ahead and notch the center point. Then I'm going to slit it open. Then the next thing I did is this is the waist area. I'm going to be making a notch. Okay, I made a notch here. I'm going to open this up. This is where I'll be inserting my zip. I'll open it up. So I'm done opening it up. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and fold or hem the edges, like round off it. Like let's use this back for instance. I'm going to go ahead and fold this part now. I'm going to hem it. I'm going to hem the side and the bottom part. I also do the same thing for the front, the side and the bottom part. Alright, but I'm not hemming this zip allowance and the waistline. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be closing up my zip allowance area. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be working is, remember we used this is a zip allowance, alright. So now from here now I'm going to, from the upper part I'm going to be marking, you can decide to mark 9 or 10 inches, alright. So I'm working with 10 inches, that's how deep I want my zip to be. Then this space is going to be open. This is where my zip, where I'm going to be inserting my zip. Then I'll go ahead and run a stitch from here down to the bottom part or the hem line of my gown. So I'm going to be closing up this area. So I'll close this up. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be stitching this upper part. Remember we made a notch at this area and the upper part, so I'll go ahead and also fold this inside. Okay, so I'll go ahead and fold it. I'll also do this for the front. So when I'm done hemming the upper part, and now I have to place the front piece to the back piece. So this is what I have. I placed the two of them together, like the wrong sides facing each other. Okay, now I'll go ahead. Remember we have already marked our shape line of this dress earlier on, so I'll go ahead and run a stitch on it. Then beside it I'm also going to run in another stitch beside it. The second stitch I'm running is the casing I'm going to be making, so because we're going to be inserting our elastic to it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and make 2 stitches. The first one, which is the actual allowance, actual body measurements. Then beside it I'll be making, let me say, ½ inch for my casing, or 1 inch. I'll be marking 1 inch and run a stitch on it to provide the casing for my elastic band. So when I'm done, this is what I have. Okay, I went ahead and I've not inserted my zip actually. I made the casing here. Okay, so now I went ahead and cut out a band. This band is for the upper part of my skirt. It's going to be having a band. So the band is 4 inches wide. On a fold is 2 inches. So this is what I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to go ahead and attach this band to the upper part of my skirt. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to be attaching it round our skirt. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this. So for this upper part of my skirt, before attaching my band, what I did was I went in. This is what it looks like. Alright, so I went in and stitched on this to close this area up, because remember we made a notch on it so that it will look neat on the outside. So now I'll head over and attach my elastic band. My elastic band is 4 inches wide, 2 inches on a fold. So I'll go ahead now and attach it to the upper part of my dress, that's the waist area. My band to my skirt, this is what we have. This is what the band looks like. Okay, so I'll now go ahead and insert my zip to my skirt. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fix my zip to my skirt. Alright, I'll go ahead and fix my zip to my skirt. So for my elastic band, I'll be working with 20 inches. That's what I'll be working with. So now I'll go ahead and insert it through my casing. So I recommend working with ½ inch elastic band. This is more better than the other one. Though you can decide to work with 1 inch elastic band, but it sure do give you a little issue. So work with this. If you want to work with having elastic band, or if that's the one you
So when I'm
what you
done
feel,
stitching,
go ahead
this is what
and
I
cut
have
it
as my final
or
result.
sew
This is
it.
what how the
Okay,
skirts came out.
so
Thank you
I'll go
so
ahead
much
and
for
start
still
with this.
watching this video up to
Then I'm going to
this
tack it. When
end.
I'm done inserting,
Kindly
I'll tack it
subscribe
here. I'm
and
going to
share
tack
to
it on top.
friends. And stay tuned for another video coming up next. Thank you.